Go ahead.
Feels official, doesn't it? So Tina, the question that we're asking people today is about what the impact has been on you of having participated in the training for the core commitment cycle and promise-based management here. So what's the impact of you here at work in particular?
I think the impact has been great.
Okay.
I think it's changed a lot of the way I think about different situations that happen during the day, and actually taking the time to think about what the situation is and how I need to respond instead of just responding.
Okay.
Thinking about getting clarifying questions answered and getting more information so that as a whole the situation turns out the best way for the customer, instead of not getting enough information, making mistakes and having to fix along the way, and go back to the customer after I've messed it up and saying this is what happened, getting stuff clarified beforehand. It's helped to be able to say no, be able to make declines when I need to, and those actually feel pretty good now.
So that kind of new learning edge, the saying no.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thinking where no matter what the request is, I have to do it. I have to put everything on my shoulders and do them all before the end of the day, and realistically it's not possible. And so if I allow myself to make a decline, that takes a lot of weight off my shoulders. Makes it less stressful.
So it doesn't mean that you don't get the work done, it just means the weight shifts, or how you're working with the weight shifts.
Right. It helps with time management, I think, because you prioritize, and while I'm prioritizing, another request comes in and I think, okay, well this is what I've got going, do I have a minute to squeeze this one in there, or do I have to decline and put it somewhere where it fits better with my time frame and the customer's need can still be met? Or,
Sure.
So.
Okay. That helps. So how would you say it's like, are you staying later longer, or is your work level of need in terms of productivity shifted? How has the core commitment cycle helped with workflow?
I think it helped. I don't think it initially things took a little longer. Trying to think about how I need to word something, and now I know that it probably still takes a little bit longer, but I'm not noticing it as much because I find myself, I'll see the requests come in and I'll look at it and I'll just put it to the side.
Okay.
And I'll finish what I'm doing, and then I'll go back to the request and have thought about how I need to respond.
Oh, there you go.
What questions I need to ask and how to get it done. So I'm finding that, yes, that part takes a little bit longer, but the process in general is going smoother, going faster.
Okay.
To get from beginning to end effectively, correctly, that it's helping that a lot. As far as staying later, that happens from time to time if there's a lot going on, if there's meetings, if stuff needs to get caught up on. I don't really see that making too much of a difference in whether I stay later.
So it sounds like on the front end there's a bit more of a learning curve. It's taking a little longer because we're learning a new way of languaging and communicating with our customers, and yet as you've gotten that going, it sounds like it's streamlined and it's actually the process is a little more smooth.
Right.
And less bumpy.
Yeah, and it's helping with not just the it's helping with the logistics team.
Okay.
I begun using it when I talk to the logistics team with my salespeople.
Okay.
And some of them are starting to get very familiar with the way I'm talking to them, and at first they were kind of impatient and thought I was crazy, and I may be, but I'm now getting responses that I'm looking for, responses that I need, and I have not had negative feedback on it. I've had people go, "What are you talking about?" Or, "Yeah, but this is what I'm saying." But in the beginning, there was pretty much a little bit of a clash, and now it's where it's getting more familiar, and so there hasn't been
Okay.
negative as far as you're not doing what I ask, or why is this taking so long, or none of that.
So really getting more accustomed to how it is that you're leading in the conversation such that you're able to meet the requests of the customers, your internal customers, meaning like logistics,
Right.
along with your external customers. Okay, so that's good news. Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to tell us in terms of how the whole core commitment cycle process or PBM, the linguistic piece, has actually benefited you, or what you're noticing?
I'm noticing that it's helped me. It's helped me as far as conversations with other coworkers.
Mhm.
If I have questions I need to ask, it helps me there be able to ask the right questions,
Yeah.
so that I get the answers I need instead of them trying to figure out what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this is exactly what I need because I've gone to the customer.
Uh-huh.
Now, can you help me with this?
Okay.
And making requests and declines seem to be, they're not always perfect, they're not always easy,
Right.
but they're going easier for me.
Mhm.
It's easier for me to make a decline,
Mhm.
and that's helped me a lot in my personal life as well.
Okay.
To make declines in areas where I've been putting a lot on me that didn't have to be on me. And
Okay.
so being able to make the decline and say, okay, that's not what I'm doing, so
All right.
done with that.
Okay. Well, so one last question. One of the things that we were curious about, we heard a lot about on the front end, was people were overwhelmed with the amount of work and how quickly things needed to be turned around. So for you personally, and then also your observations of the folks you work with, what would be the level of overwhelm now? And how do you think yourself and folks are handling it?
I think I don't feel overwhelmed. The only time I felt overwhelmed since this, okay, let me back up.
Okay.
When this whole thing started, there was a lot of overwhelmingness
Mhm.
because we were away from our desks for so long to
Right.
do the training.
Right.
So it was overwhelming.
Mhm.
Doing the meetings, working on the project,
Mhm.
doing all of that. The first couple of months was totally overwhelming.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, we all had to have a break.
Okay.
So, and now I'm prepared for it. I can't speak for anybody else, but
Mhm.
I'm prepared for it.
Mhm.
So I start ahead of time thinking, okay, this is my plan. I know these days I'm going to be away from my desk for 4 hours. I need to keep up with this, this, and this
Mhm.
because I need to be able to accommodate what's going to come in for those 4 hours.
Got it.
And I'm not stressed out about it. I
Hmm.
was before.
Mhm.
I'm not now.
Okay.
Because now it's like, I know what I'm capable of.
Mhm.
After I stop being so overwhelmed and panicking and freaking out,
Yes.
then I think, okay, well, look at what I accomplished and why was I freaking out?
Okay.
So now I'm thinking, okay, we got a workshop. Big deal.
Okay.
Big deal.
There you go.
But yeah. So, and it's the only time we were overwhelmed was when our team was shorthanded. People were out of the country, and so
Sure.
there was only a couple of us covering the whole team's work, and that got kind of overwhelming, but that I think is understandable. And that, you know, but we still got stuff done. We still clarified things, dealing with customers. If I couldn't understand their Spanish correctly to be able to get what I needed, I would just email them back in English and say, please clarify, what exactly do you need?
Okay.
And so that
Seems to be working.
it worked, and now our teammate is back.
And you're glad.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we wind down today?
No, I just think overall it was a really good, positive experience. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I was a part of it.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Alrighty.